Donna Haraway's essay Anthropocene, Capitalocene, Plantationocene, Chthulucene, Making Kin explores the ecological, political, and philosophical crises shaping the contemporary world. She examines different ways of naming the current planetary condition and argues that these names shape how people understand environmental destruction and imagine possible futures. She begins by discussing the term Anthropocene, which refers to the geological age in which human activity has significantly altered the Earth's ecosystems and climate. However, she argues that the crisis is not caused equally by all humans. Instead, environmental destruction results from interconnected systems of capitalism, colonialism, industrialization, extraction, and technological exploitation. She questions when gradual environmental changes become catastrophic transformations that threaten life on Earth. These crises include climate change, toxic pollution, extinction, deforestation, ecosystem collapse, and the destruction of habitats for both humans and non human species. To deepen the critique, she introduces the term Capitalocene, borrowed from Jason Moore and Andreas Malm. This concept shifts attention from humanity in general to capitalism as the primary force behind ecological devastation. Capitalism depends on what Moore calls cheap nature, the exploitation of land, labor, animals, and resources for endless profit and extraction. This system has exhausted the Earth's reserves through mining, industrial agriculture, pollution, and global inequality. Then Haraway discusses the Plantationocene, which emphasizes the historical role of plantations, slavery, monoculture farming, and colonial exploitation in transforming ecosystems. Plantation systems destroyed biodiversity and replaced complex ecological relationships with extractive economies based on forced labor and profit. She connects these earlier plantation systems with today's industrial agribusiness, factory farming, and monocrop economies that continue ecological destruction on a global scale. Instead of remaining trapped within narratives of apocalypse and extinction, Haraway proposes the idea of Chthulucene. Unlike the Anthropocene, which centers humans, the Chthulucene emphasizes interconnectedness among humans, animals, plants, fungi, bacteria, technologies, and ecosystems. No species exists alone. All life forms survive through relationships, cooperation, and interdependence. Chthulucene imagines a world based on making kin rather than domination. It encourages humans to live responsibly with other species and to rebuild damaged ecological relationships. An important idea in the essay is Haraway's statement make kin, not babies. Humanity must rethink traditional ideas of family, reproduction, and kinship in order to reduce ecological pressure on the planet. Kinship should extend beyond biological family to include broader networks of care among humans and non humans. Haraway advocates collaborative multi species ways of living that prioritize ecological justice, collective responsibility, and care for future generations. Haraway also critiques human exceptionalism, the belief that humans are separate from and superior to nature. She declares we are all composed, not post human, emphasizing that humans are part of ecological cycles of life, decay, and renewal. The essay calls for mourning ecological losses while also imagining new forms of coexistence and survival. Survival in the future depends on cooperation, imagination, and building multi species communities. The essay is both a warning about ecological collapse and a hopeful call to recreate more ethical relationships with the earth and all living beings.